Conversations with players and our own media types, our analysts, for the upcoming season. Spring training right around the corner now as we close in on February. And one of the guys, of course, who will be in our booth calling so many games this year is the great Lou Merloni. Does such a great job on Ness, and a guy who grew up here and really understands the passion for Red Sox baseball. Going to hear from him in a moment. Also going to hear from a couple of the top prospects in all of baseball, not just with the Red Sox. So stick around for that. But first, let's hear from Lou Merloni talking about this Winterfest, about the offseason, about what the Red Sox have done, and about what they can still do. It's a conversation with sweet Lou Merloni here on 310 The Left. Tom Caron, along with Lou Merloni. Happy winter.
Yeah, you too.
No snow, for the entire winter.
Yeah.
And then today we wake up and we got snow.
We were introducing baseball back, right? It's right around the corner, and we walk in here, and it's snowing here at Fenway.
It's just to make you really get fired up for spring training. That's the whole point of this. You're going to go down tomorrow anyway and play some fantasy baseball.
Little fantasy camp. I'm going to go to Fort Myers for a couple of weeks, and the next thing you know, we'll be down there for camp.
Won't be long. It's going to be a fun day where panels. It's just like Winter Weekend over the years, but it's right here at the ballpark. A lot of it's going to happen down at MGM Music Hall, Fenway Park, right below us, really, behind us. And part of it, which is my favorite part, I'll go down and introduce the 2025 Red Sox as a group, in person, live, for the first time. And I think, Lou, we'll get right to it. I'm assuming you would think that the group I am introducing today is not going to be the completed group that takes the field in February.
No, I don't think it will. I think there'll be some additions. The real question is, will there be any subtractions, right? I mean, there still could be a lot done. There's still trades that could happen, but obviously there's some needs, and Craig Breslow has been open about it. Alex Cora has been open about it. They're still looking for right-handed bats. They're still looking for maybe an impact reliever, so there could be some more additions, but like I said, the real question is, anybody you introduce here today will be on another team come spring.
So we said at the end of last season, the same thing we said a year ago. You have to improve on the pitching. And I don't think there's any question they have.
No, they have. I mean, there's no doubt that the starting rotation is probably the area that you look back and say, okay, they've done a nice job. You brought in Crochet. He's an absolute animal. This is a guy that you need on top of that rotation. Walker Buehler's another one. There's upside there. There's risk. But you've built a nice rotation with depth. I like where the bullpen's going with one more addition. The real question is the offense. At the end of the season, you sat there and said, this team strikes out way too much. There's not enough contact. Well, you still have 6 guys, maybe even 7 guys in this basic lineup right now that strike out way too much, well above average. That's an area that they really need to start addressing.
Alex Spear did a great job in the Globe today when full stat Masterson talking about what right-handed pull hitters do when they pull the ball at Fenway Park. The numbers are off the charts. We know a lot of things that would be fly balls in other ballparks will hit off the wall or go over the wall. They've lacked that. They've had a couple guys. Trevor Story, when he's healthy, has done that. We've seen it. But they need more right-handed pop. Alex Cora said that at the end of last year.
Here at Fenway Park, I mean, it's sort of like what we said before with the Yankees. Why have an all right-handed lineup, right, when you got Yankee Stadium? So here at Fenway, you had a guy in J.D. Martinez. But ever since, you've tried guys like Duvall and Renfroe and Tyler O'Neill. And for the most part, those guys have worked. Like, they've been good for you. But it sort of seems like, okay, where do we get this anchor? Where do we get this right-handed bat that's going to be in this lineup for the next 4 or 5 years, whatever it may be? And at Fenway, you really want to take advantage of that.
All right, it's going to be a cool moment in a little bit. As we said, we'll introduce the entire team. And at the end of it, I'll give away the spoiler. Garrett Crochet is going to be introduced, going to get his jersey here in public for the first time. Talk a little about what the Red Sox are getting in Garrett Crochet.
Well, to me, listen, we've talked about it before. I've often this winter called him a pig, and that is a compliment. I know a lot of pig lovers have come after me, said a pig is a very clean animal. But this guy rolls around the mud a little bit before he gets on the mound, okay? And he is filthy, and that's why. I mean, the power fastball, he started bringing in a sinker that was basically unhittable, the cutter sweeper. For the first 3 or 4 months of the season, he was right there with Tariq Skubal. It's just that he hadn't pitched coming off Tommy John, so they had to control those innings. But the upside is there. He's got 2 years left of control. So hopefully, and there's already been some discussions, hopefully, you can extend this guy and keep him in this rotation for Alex for the next 5-6 years.
Literally, there has never been a career arc like Garrett Crochet because, originally a reliever, obviously. Then, because he would have been in the minors, the pandemic lockdown meant no minor league baseball. So he essentially develops at the major league level with the White Sox. Last year, they put him in the rotation, and he's lights out. is there a concern because there isn't the history and the track record of being a starter?
Well, I think there is some concern. I think there's always concern with pitching. But to me, he's had that foundation year, much like Houck and Crawford and these sort of guys. So now, this year, you can kind of let him go a little bit. He brings like closer stuff to a game like a starter. One of the things Breslow in this front office, this pitching development program, they talk about they want swing and miss within the zone. This guy was right there with Blake Snell as 1 and 2, and it wasn't even close. He throws strikes. He gets swings and misses. It is exactly, and of course, 25 years old, exactly what this team's looking for.
They're going to have Garrett Crochet, Walker Buehler, who recorded the final out of the World Series, and we know what he was before injuries, and you got to see him coming back at the end of that. Buehler certainly makes it a difference, right? You add Crochet at the top of that rotation, but now you add another guy in the middle who, if he's anywhere close to what he used to be, makes this a really good rotation.
Yeah, and the exciting thing is what he showed really towards the end of that postseason. Now, again, another guy with a foundation year, coming off of Tommy John, so trying to get back into the flow last year. At the end of the playoffs, he was dominant. 10 scoreless innings. The upside is there. We have seen it. He put together some really nice years. Again, health, but really, this guy comes in as the veteran. This is the guy that all these young arms, he has been through a lot. He has won championships. He's been on a very veteran-like team in L.A., so he is a big part of it. Hopefully you can give him those starts, give him 30-32, and then we see where it goes.
Essentially right now, you are adding Crochet, Buehler, and Lucas Giolito, who should be healthy, and you've lost Pivetta. I mean, that's really the difference. It is a drastically improved bullpen rotation, both at the top and in the depth.
Well, that's the other part of it. Yeah, you've added on this big league staff, but what you've done and what you haven't really had here now for years, you've got 3 or 4 guys down in the minor leagues that you feel like you can bring up now and give you that little spot start when you have 13 games in a row and you need somebody for that middle game to keep everybody rested. They haven't had that in a very, very long time. And now they have not just top of the rotation, high ceiling guys, but they've got depth down in AAA. That Worcester staff's going to be loaded.
No doubt about that, right? You could have Fitz and Priester and Criswell, who was here essentially a 5 guy last year. Could be a 6 or 7 guy. It's a totally different thing. You've also got help coming in the bullpen now. Liam Hendrick couldn't quite get there at the end of last year. Should be good to go this year. Garrett Whitlock's coming back. You've added a couple of arms in Justin Wilson. You've got several guys. Michael Fulmer is another guy. This is a different bullpen coming.
Yeah, Chapman.
Is it enough? Chapman added. There's still guys out there. Haven't done enough.
I'd like to see one more kind of known product. And it's so hard to talk about relievers as known products, right? Because every single year, one guy could be lights out. The next year, he gives it up. But give me somebody with a little bit of a track record. Because Liam Hendrick's coming back from injury. He could be the lights out closer he's always been. We know what Chapman is, right? Chapman can walk some guys, but more times than not, he's embarrassing people on the mound because of his stuff. So, and then Fulmer's an interesting one as well. Whitlock coming back. We saw what he's like as a reliever. So there's a lot of potential there. There's just a lot of health issues, concerns. So I think if you get one more guy, then I think you're really locking this thing down. And you've got depth. Once again, AAA guys, big league guys with options that can swing back and forth.
Let me ask you finally here for this segment, the American League East. Toronto seems to be on the verge of slamming that window of opportunity shut. Baltimore surprised a lot of people. They haven't been spending a lot of money. Tampa Bay is going to play at George Steinbrenner Field. We don't know what's going on with them. The Yankees are the Yankees. But is there an opening here to really make a move and establish yourself again in the AL East?
Yeah, there is. I mean, look at the talent that's left. I mean, Juan Soto's out of New York, and I know they've brought in a couple guys in Bellinger and Goldschmidt, but, they've been down the last couple of years. Corbin Burns is out in Baltimore, so isn't Santander, who I think is the glue to that lineup. Much like Teoscar was up in Toronto. It just didn't look the same without him. We'll see what they look like. They're going all kids. Toronto's staff is going to be filthy. Now, we forget that all those starters got hurt. They're going to be very good. But, yeah, the division is open. Kyle Tucker left Houston. Maybe Bregman leaves Houston. So there's a lot of openings for them. So they can complete this. I know there's a lot of complaining going on right now, and a lot of doubting going on. But you are a move or two away from being one of the favorites in the American League.
One of the great things about the Winterfest held at Fenway Park recently, Fenway Fest, they officially called it, is not only to get up close to the current team and the players on that team, you also get up close to some of the greatest players to ever wear the uniform. Our own Jim Rice, of course, here for us on NESN, but he's a Hall of Famer, one of the best players in the history of the game. And of course, David Ortiz. And wherever he goes, a crowd soon follows. So we had to hold the crowd outside our studios as Big Papi dropped by for a visit. I caught up with him. Last I saw him was last in November when I got to take part in his celebrity golf tournament down in Marco Island. Raised $1.7 million for the David Ortiz Children's Fund that does amazing work for kids in both the Dominican Republic and up here in New England. Big Papi talked about that, about the upcoming season, and about Rafael Devers as the face of this team or a leader on this team as he leads through his actions. Let's hear from Big Papi. David Ortiz dropping by, 3:10 left. All right, snow coming down here at Fenway Park in Boston. It is the first ever Fenway Fest, taking the place of the old winter weekend. Instead, it's at the ballpark down at MGM Fenway Music Hall. Get to meet a lot of the current players and some of the greatest to ever wear the uniform like the man who joins us now. It's David Ortiz's world. We're just along for the ride. Big Papi, my friend, how are you?
What's going on, brother?
This is cold for you.
I thought I was going to be in some Dominican weather this way.
No. Do you get the...
What happened?
Cora came out here. He had the long underwear on. He was shivering. I mean, take the guy out of Puerto Rico, but you can't. But you've been here long enough. You've been.
Yeah, we
You're
used to,
right.
especially around this time.
You're all right. Kind of nice having this at Fenway instead of out at a casino somewhere, isn't it?
I know, man. I know. I mean, the way Fenway Sport Group have been able to renew Fenway, I think we get away with this one right here.
Yeah, the music hall makes
That's
it.
right,
That's a nice thing downstairs. How's your off season, man? I got to go down to your tournament, watch Jim Rice get a hole in one.
I know, man. Lucky, man. You lucky.
He's got 6 of
Are
them.
you that good?
I make it.
What's your handicap now, Jim?
About 3.
3, and he's mad. He's mad at
Wow, that's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. It's such
Competitor.
a great event. You raised $1.7 million for the David Ortiz Children's Fund.
That's right.
You have an amazing team behind you, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. And thanks to all of you for support our foundation. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, you know, it's all about the kids. It's all about the kids.
You've done an amazing job back home and here in Boston helping kids get life-saving surgery that they wouldn't be able to afford. Thank you for what you've done.
Definitely. I mean, it's always a pleasure and an honor to be able to raise funds to continue saving life. It's something that I really enjoy, and we're going to try to continue doing it.
I want to ask you about something that Lou Merloni and I were talking about a little while ago here. Having a veteran, and Trevor Story is probably that guy here, right? But a guy, like we're talking about adding a Bregman or adding somebody to this team. Getting another guy in here that there's so many young players on this team, so many young hitters on this team. But I think back to 2021, Kyle Schwarber showed up, and all of a sudden he was the guy talking to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
J.D. Martinez was the guy talking to everyone. Second half of your career, you were the guy talking to everyone. Beginning of the career, other guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
How important is it to have a couple of those guys? It's a young team. It's important to have a couple of guys who can tell you, put down that report for a minute. Let me tell you about this pitcher you're going to face today because I seen him. How important is that?
Well, players nowadays are like too mechanical, I guess. You know, you give them an iPad, you tell them what is in it, and all they focus is on what is in it, which is fine, you know. But I think the veteran leadership and the conversation in between the youngster and the guy that have a lot of experience, I think it go beyond that iPad. I had many conversations with that man right there during my career. He put so many good thoughts on my head, and I used to do nothing but go on that field and put it in play, and it works. And iPad would not say that to me, you know. I mean, I know that we are in different time and technology you have to cover, but those conversations are very important because the experience comes from the human being, not from an iPad. You can see numbers, you can see videos, but that conversation in between the experience and you is in another level.
Because the iPad isn't going to tell David Ortiz in 2013 that Benoit might throw a splitter, right? That's experience.
Well,
that's being able to lean back on what you've seen before.
It's not. It's created by the experience. Like Exactly. I based on my experience, I went and looked for, and it was.
It'll tell you. The iPad's going to tell you that's what he throws.
Yeah.
But knowing that he might try to throw that by you in the first pitch, that's experience.
And the confidence level play a big role. You know, if I have a conversation with that man right there, he will raise my confidence level. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
iPad is just numbers.
2018, Jim Rice, we're talking about, had that conversation with Jackie Bradley Jr. before the American League Championship Series. JBJ winds up being the MVP of that series. And sometimes it's just saying, man, believe in yourself. You're good. Right? You hear that from David Ortiz, or David Ortiz hears that from Jim Rice. It means everything.
One time I was pulling every pitch. The man came down to the clubhouse and sit down and have a conversation with me. He say, I want you to go and hit batting practice today. You're going to use the left center gap and the right center gap and try to hit everything in between those two. And guess what? At the beginning, I was feeling uncomfortable doing because I was pulling everything. But then I keep on working and keep on until I figure how to do that. That was it. That's all I need. Got caught up on fire. Who said that to me? An iPad? It was him.
Yeah, they said that's the Hall of Famer. One Hall of Famer to another, as it turns out. You're left-handed, obviously, and you had the power to make right field play for you. You could get it out there. Not everybody can. We talk a lot about Fenway, the wall, being good for left-handers, and we know it is, right? You can slap it off that wall.
Mm-hmm.
But Alex Cora says, yeah, give me some right-handed pull guys who can put it over that wall. Is this team too left-handed right now? Like, they've talked about Bregman, they've talked about Teoscar Hernandez, they've talked about trying to get another right-handed guy. Tyler O'Neill was that one healthy last year, but he's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need that right-handed power here at Fenway Park to balance the lineup?
Always. Because if you think about, you take a very strong power hitter at Fenway to be able not just to hit the ball off the green monster. Many guys can do that. It's to hit it over. You know what I'm saying? And right-handed batter, you know, you let anything right there in the third, and they can put it out there easier than a left-handed batter. You know what I'm saying? So that creates a balance. I mean, in my time, me and Manny had that balance. You know, and then you had the rest of the guys. You know, and it seems like it's always needed. And then we have Mookie, and then we have JD. Now we have Rafi, but you need that right-handed bat always in there that can create that balance.
Rafael Devers is, it's the biggest contract in Red Sox history. But he's not a guy who wants to be the face of the franchise. Right? He wants to go out and play. He's one of the best hitters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. But with the money sometimes comes that responsibility, right? The team expects you to do more things. You were a guy who grew into that role, right? When you first started, you weren't that guy. You were just trying to make your name in the game.
That's right.
Then you made it. Then you became Big Papi. Then you became a legend. Then you became a Hall of Famer. It all came, but not right away.
No.
How do you balance that? Because not everybody wants that. You're comfortable whether you're talking to a boardroom of CEOs, 5-year-olds at a kindergarten. I've seen you in every setting, and you're comfortable in everything. Not everybody is. Some guys just want to play baseball. Does the team have to respect what a guy's willing to do and let him be the player he wants to be?
Well, if I tell you that I was looking for being that guy, I'm lying to you. I came with the mentality of playing baseball, and you know, became to be a good player and all that. But it all depends. I think you, when you have the personality that kind of chases you, you know, it's not something that there's guys that they had the ability to wanting to be that guy, but sometimes there's something missing. When you begin to be that guy, you cannot be picky. You have to be able to deal with everything in that room. And like I say, it comes with the personality. And Rafi's a guy that he's quiet. You know, he since day one. I remember when I met Rafi was 15 at the academy in the Dominican. Same kid. You know, he loved to come in, get prepared to play baseball. He's not the one guy that like to put up with those type of challenge. And I don't blame him. Because not everybody comes with the mentality to be able to be that good playing baseball and also deal with the rest of the stuff. I play with so many guys, good players, but they were never ready to put up with the challenge.
Then you have guys like Kevin Millar who can do that stuff, but he's not a very good player. He's watching something.
He was really good. I love you, gangster.
But you know, and that's what's interesting about Rafi because he's really comfortable here. It's not like, you know, he likes Boston. He loves playing here. He just, you know, he leads by how he plays the game. That's his leadership, right? In what he does on the field.
Listen, I saw Rafi making a comment one time about something that I can remember, and it was a big deal. And that kind of scared him. He was like, I ain't talking no more, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's about what we need to do.
Yeah, like something like that. Training, right? He blew up all crazy, and I was like, see, when something goes down like that, you scare the guy because he's not a guy that had the personality to be in front of the camera all the time, you know, and challenging everybody. He's not that guy. He's a guy that he like to come to the field, get prepared to play the game, look at the monster number that he put up every year. But that's it.
Well, you know,
and you can be mad at it because they don't teach you how to be that guy.
Right.
You just develop.
Well, you would casually say, you know, it'd be nice if there was a little more protection by him. All of a sudden, Papi's not happy with the offense. Right?
Exactly.
That's, you know Alex Spears writing it for the next 3 days.
Exactly. I mean, but you know, in my situation, I just don't care. I would just be me.
Yeah.
You know, and I grew up into it, I guess, and I want guys in my team ready to fight back all the time. You know what I'm saying? We had the best fan in baseball who pay to come and watch us every day, no matter if the situation is like this or raining or whatever. The fans support this ball club better than any other ball club that I ever seen. And I think that motivated me to be that good. You know, and I want guys on my team to feel the same way I feel. And that's when the leadership comes in because whoever comes from the outside, I have a lot of teammates, guys that came in later and once, you know, they start feeling comfortable with what they see. Some of them used to come and be like, hey, I want to come to play for the Red Sox to see you on a daily basis, to see what you got, why you were so good, why everybody loves you, why everybody want to be your teammate, you know, and it wasn't about me. It was about the team. It was about I would take my time just to watch what was going on around and let my boys know. You know, I remember I got one time we were playing. We have Eduardo Rodriguez here, and we went to play the Blue Jays, and Encarnacion in the first at bat took him deep, and I grabbed him in the clubhouse, and I was like, why you guys keep on going in on these guys? Well, they want us to go into the hands, and I like, if you miss an inch, look at what the ball landed. Why don't you try something away? Why you guys want to try so hard just to follow up with the scouting report? You know what I'm saying? Go by your instincts once in a while. He pitched almost the whole game, and the guy was just grinding out and popping out because he just stayed away from them the whole time. That's leadership. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching. You need guys like that in the ball club that get to be able to have conversation with their teammates and not just go straight to that iPad all the time.
I got to ask you finally, the last question. 3 years without a playoff run. You know, you're doing these games on Fox. We got to get you back here at Fenway Park doing a playoff game for the Red Sox. All right?
Please.
They've addressed
Please.
You got Crochet, you got Buehler. Pitching's better, right? Chapman in the bullpen, Hendricks coming back. You got some arms.
Oh, we got some thunder.
Are they a playoff team?
I will say this. I think there's some guy out there still that we can go for them, okay? And I think we have a really good front office. Pitching, to me, you know, to put a good lineup together nowadays is not that difficult. What you got to do is just make it rain, you know, and you can go and pick a few guys. Now, pitching, in the other hands, is the toughest thing to put together in the team, and we got pitching. Pitching always is able to stop good offense. You know, the pitching is a playoff pitching, the pitching that we have right now, I believe. Yeah. So we lined up a couple of Thunders in the lineup that can help Rafi and the rest of the boys. And one good right-hander batter, I think we will do it.
There's one out there. We know that.
Let's try.
All right, Papi, good to see you, my friend. The great David Ortiz dropping by to say hello. They've got him going everywhere, so we're going to let him get back to work. All right, we go from the past to the future. We know what David Ortiz did. He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Red Sox are hoping that a bumper crop of young players, young talent, can make its way up to the majors and make an instant impact. Two of the players expected to do that are Roman Anthony and Kristian Campbell. And at the end of last season, it's Roman Anthony at the top of the entire baseball prospect list. He is ranked as the best prospect in baseball. Kristian Campbell, meantime, was minor league player of the year. So you literally talk about a guy who has progressed to the top of the prospect list and a guy who kind of came out of nowhere in the eyes of a lot of evaluators, but the Red Sox knew what Campbell could do, and he put it all together last year, both knocking on the door. They sat down to talk about the opportunity ahead. It's Roman Anthony and Kristian Campbell on 3:10 to left. Getting ready for the upcoming season, a step towards that every year. It used to be Winter Weekend, now Fenway Fest here at the ballpark. Roman Anthony and Kristian Campbell with me, two of the top prospects, not just in the game, but in all baseball. In fact, the number one prospect in all of baseball. You've had a little time to sort of let that sink in. Does it change? Do you get more texts this offseason? Do you get more media inquiries? How different has your winter been?
No, it's pretty much been the same. I don't do a ton of social media. I'm not really on it a whole lot. But, it's hard to avoid it when something like that happens. But it's good. I don't really focus too much on it because doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's nice to be acknowledged for what you do in the minor leagues. But I'm just excited to get here.
It's a testament to the work, which is great, right? When you get named minor league player of the year, it's a testament to the work. That feels good, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it definitely feels good. I mean, it's a lot of hard work throughout the year. You got to stay healthy and everything. But I mean, the main goal is to get to Boston. So I think we're both really excited and really ready to get to Boston.
3-level rise for you last year.
Yes,
talk about the way that season went together, and was it a case of like the confidence building as the season went along? I mean, tell us a little about a year like that.
I definitely had confidence from the get-go, from the beginning of the season. Jumping 3 levels is definitely different. It's a good different, though. It's really fun. Get to meet a lot of different coaches, get to meet a lot of different guys, get to pick a lot of different guys' brains and everything. So, it's a really good experience. Get to learn a lot on the way, too. Each coach has different philosophies. The Oric has the same philosophy, is to win. So moving throughout the systems or throughout each team is just a good opportunity to get to meet everybody kind of fast, but it's a good thing for sure.
I just read a poll of major league executives named the Red Sox minor league system the best in baseball. And whether it's 1, 2, 3, it's at or near the top. You guys have both come up through the system playing with other really talented, highly touted prospects, big 3, big 4. Mm-hmm. What has that meant? Do you guys push each other? Is it, you always want to be surrounded by whatever you do in life, right? Surround yourself with people who are going to succeed, who are going to make you the best. What has it meant to you, Roman, first, to have those kind of players around you on your rise?
I mean, yeah, it's amazing. And first of all, credit to the front office, right? And to the guys that are out scouting and drafting, guys that are here and that have the same attitude, that want to come in and want to win. I think throughout all the levels that I've played at, we have such a great group of guys, and it's all such a tight-knit group that it makes going out there and playing in between the lines a whole lot easier when you're just playing with your best friends. And I think no matter what level you go to, from low A all the way to triple A, there's just such a good group of guys who kind of play together, and that, playing to win type attitude is just driven at every affiliate. And I think that helps, a ton, because the minor leagues can get very individualized in terms of, the way you can play and guys are out looking for themselves. But I think when you go out and you take a minor league team that's so close and, you tell and you show these guys what it's like to, play to win together, it just makes it, makes the season go by faster, and it makes it a whole lot more fun.
Kristian, you kind of caught up to the upper edge of that group, right? You finished in AAA. And a lot of times we talk about a major league team being welcoming. It's a little different here. Like, you had this established group of prospects that everybody was talking about that you jumped into. Mm-hmm. What has that been like? How much have they welcomed you and helped you?
They've welcomed me and helped me a lot, actually. We've been talking since spring training and everything, and even though I was a level lower than them from the jump, I ended up catching up with them. And every time I caught up with them, it's been a really easy transition, just getting to know Kate, Roman, Marcelo, and Kyle Teel at the time. Getting to know them, they made it a really easy jump for me. And knowing them just helped me just ease in with everybody. And once I got to know them, I felt like I knew everybody. So it was a really good thing, for sure.
Kristian, one thing that you talk to people in the organization, they've raved about your work with bat speed, right? You bought into the philosophy, you really worked on it, you improved. Talk a little about that. You know, we talk so much with pitchers about retooling things they do. I don't think we give hitters enough credit for what they do, right? Like we just think you guys go in the cage and take a bunch of hacks and you move on, but you really worked on your swing. Talk a little about the work and then the rewards you've gotten because of it.
The goal was just to hit the ball in the air more often. I've always been able to hit the ball. It's just maybe not in the right direction. And when I got drafted, that was one of the main things we worked on, just hitting the ball in the air as hard as possible instead of on the ground. And I worked on that for a year, grinded it out, stuck to the program. And once the season started, everything just fell into place. I was hitting the ball in the air. I started hitting more home runs, and I was still able to keep my bat-to-ball skills and play discipline as the season went by.
Roman, for you, we talk about the hitting group here from Pete Fatsi here at the major league level down. Talk about the work that you've been able to put in with them over the last couple of years and sort of the comfort level you get with the preparation and the information they give you to allow yourself to be the best you can be.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think it's been, an open book on both sides, which has been great for me. And ever since, I was drafted at 18 and came in, whether it was the guys at the complex or the guys all the way at the top, I think, they all have similar ways of viewing, hitting, but everyone's different too at the same time. And they get that and they're super, open with that, which has been awesome with me. And we communicate a ton and during the off season constantly, going back and forth with guys. And, so it's been great. The communication part has been easy. And again, it just makes playing on the field a whole lot easier when everyone's on the same page. So credit to them, credit to all the coordinators. It's been awesome.
Part of being a professional is learning to deal with the business side of baseball, right? And when people talk about Garrett Crochet coming in, you talk about what he adds. Kyle Teel was a friend, right? And that's a little bit of a shock. I know he was shocked when he got the news. Talk a little about when you got the news.
Yeah, obviously I was actually out in Oklahoma. I was shocked for sure. But, I think with moves like that, you do understand that it is a business and that you trust the front office that, they know what they're doing and they've been in the game a lot longer than me and Kyle Teel has been in the game. So trusting in their process and, their will to win and to win now. So, we trust it. Obviously, it sucks when you have one of your best friends get traded away and it's just like that, probably won't see him for a while. So it's sad, but again, that's part of it. And that when you sign the paper, right, going into it that, we're not going to play together forever. And we wish we could, but that's why we just got to take advantage of the time we have together.
And it gives him an opportunity at his new place, right? That's
doubt.
the whole point. Kristian, talk about the offseason. What's it been like for you? Have you done anything differently than in the past?
No, just consistent training, staying healthy, getting my body back in shape from the long last season and everything. But really just, grinding it out, keeping my...
Is the rookie development camp this week?
Yes.
You guys will stay up here?
Yeah, we'll be here till
tomorrow.
Tuesday.
Do that. Talk about that because Boston's a different place. You know what I mean? I mean, you've been close enough. You've been here now in the area, right, with Worcester and Portland. But you guys have both already sort of experienced the passion of this fan base. What's it like? I mean, what's it like playing in a place where this matters as much as it does?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I haven't played here, so I can't really tell you about that, and I'm sure that's a whole different experience. But I think, I said after our high A affiliate, coming up north and coming to Maine for AA, and then you talk about Worcester and AAA, I think that's the first time I really felt like, okay, these fans are super, super passionate. And you can tell at our AA games in Portland. And it's awesome. When you get to play in front of a crowd that's super into it, like these fans are, and that are super passionate and want to see you succeed and hold you to a standard in a sense, it's great. And, it makes you a better player.
When you guys have had the success you have, you're knocking on the door now. How eager are you to get to spring training, and how much do you have to sort of work to make sure you don't let anything get ahead of itself? Like you just go in and do what you've done in the past that has brought you the success.
Right. I'm super excited personally. I know Roman is too, to get to spring training and get to showcase our skills and everything in front of a large crowd. It's It's going to be very special. I think we're both looking forward to the opportunity, and Marcelo. We're all looking forward to the opportunity. I mean, we're looking forward to it all year and everything, and we worked hard to get to this opportunity. So I'm definitely going to not try to let it slip away from us for sure.
We were talking before with Alex Cora, we're like, yeah, there's going to be a point where one of these guys is going to be hitting 380 at spring training and the world's going to be screaming, you know. Do you let yourself, like, your head's on your pillow at night, do you let yourself sort of dream about what it's going to take, or do you just try to keep that tunnel vision so you don't get ahead of it?
Yeah, I think it's hard not to think about it, you know, especially now being so close. And you know, the more I come back here, I always say, like, I've come back here a few times and I've been up each level more and more as I've come back, and it's felt closer and closer. But I think now is about as real as it gets. And you know, you try to stay as focused as you can and handle your business in the off season and do everything you can so that way when you show up to spring training, you know, try to leave no doubts there. But it's definitely something we think about and we chat about it, you know, him, Marcelo, we all talk about it constantly. And that's the goal. And the goal is just to get there as fast as we can and to help this team win. And, you know, we hold each other accountable and make sure that, you know, we're staying on each other and trying to all get there as quick as we can.
Who had the duck boat on the screen? Did somebody have?
Marcelo,
yeah. Right? Yeah, you might as well set your goal, right?
Yeah.
Not just get here, win a championship here. Listen, we'll see you down at spring training soon. Enjoying rookie development camp. Have a good week up
Appreciate
here.
it. It's great seeing you.
Got a bunch
Thank you
of
for
snow
having us.
for you, just to give you a little taste what April is going to be like if you make it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, though.
Yeah,
We're looking
no
forward
doubt
to
about it. All right, good stuff. Roman Anthony, Kristian Campbell, we appreciate the visit. Great conversation and just such an exciting future for players like that. Red Sox recently ranked as one of the best minor league systems in all of baseball by a panel of major league executives, and that's after trading away 4 prospects to obtain Garrett Crochet. So it shows just how deep now that pipeline is for the Red Sox minor league system. We thank Roman Anthony and Kristian Campbell for dropping by. Of course, we also thank David Ortiz. And before that, Lou Merloni. Good conversations today. We thank you, though, most of all, for checking us out as we ramp up and get ready for spring training ahead. A lot of good episodes coming up. So make sure you always grab it wherever you download and catch your podcasts. 310 to left right here on Nesson. For all of us here at the network, I'm Tom Caron. Thanks so much for checking it out. Hope to hear and see you again soon.